Hi everyone. So today is a update. I wanted to touch base with you guys about everything that's been going on. So I've lost 10.2 pounds since the beginning of this journey. I'll be honest, I've only lost about 5 pounds since I last talked to you guys, as since the start of my documented journey. And ideally I want to lose another about 30 pounds. I would like more than 30, but the minimum goal is 30 pounds over the next 3.5 months. If I can lose that, that sits me right where my goal is for where I want to be. With that being said, I wanted to touch base with you guys about food and my diet, which was one of the things I talked about in the last video. Now, first and foremost, water consumption, drinking in general. Back in the day, I used to consume probably about 4 cans. I'll say 2 to 4 cans worth of pop every day, pop, soda, whatever you want to call it. And God, the carb consumption, sugar consumption, caloric consumption, and just what I was drinking was excessive. It was bad. I will tell you, based on my kind of rough estimate of what I was consuming each day, I was consuming probably around 3,000 calories a day. That is excessive. You don't need to eat more than 2,000 calories, and that's based on if you're healthy. Now, if you're like me, whatever your doctor says, and I do suggest that you seek out your doctor about dietary plans if you are overweight or you're starting your weight loss journey. Whether it be weight loss surgery or just by hand, please talk to your doctor about what they believe is probably your best caloric consumption for what needs to happen. I can't tell you what it is. For me, it's 1,200 calories with a low carb, high protein diet. So that's where I'm at. Now, like I said, water. This is a water bottle. I suggest, if you're going on a journey where especially if you're not a typical water drinker, find a water bottle you like. Find a water bottle that makes you feel comfortable and is easy to use, because that makes a huge, huge difference about when you're drinking water. If you're not the type that drinks a lot of water because the taste is different, I promise you'll get used to it. I really like sweet, a lot of sweet, and that's where the pop came in, is it provided me a substantial amount of sweet. Now, with that being said, I'll be honest, it's just really not good for you, so try your best. If you absolutely have to, I would try a minimal amount of like Crystal Light, things like that. Not in every drink, maybe like once a day having that, just so that you're consuming still your water. And then, like I said, mind over matter. I like this type of water bottle. I like the ones that resemble those kind of water bottles you get at a gas station, only because they fit in my cup holder easily. And this one gives me the opportunity to put ice in it. So not only am I filling it up with water, I can fill it up with ice. I can fill it up with, sorry, I opened it. Fill it up with, there's these fruit infusers. So if you really like fruit flavored things, there are fruit infuser bottles where you could put like, I believe it's frozen. I really don't know how they work, so you might want to do a little bit of research on that. But always drink your water. Doctors say roughly about 64 fluid ounces, unless you have other conditions that limit your consumption or extend your need for consumption. So please, 64 fluid ounces of water. Get yourself a water bottle you really like. With that being said, on to food, the actual food. My biggest bad habit, and has been the main reason I have gotten this big, is because I am what I like to affectionately call a lazy eater. That doesn't mean I am lazy about what I'm eating. It's lazy about what I'm choosing to eat, I guess. I will eat whatever's the most convenient to find. So that means if I roll out of bed, walk down the stairs, and I don't feel like cooking, I'll grab a bottle of pop and I'll grab some chips, and that's the most convenient. Or I'll grab saltines and cream cheese, and while cream cheese is not bad, we're still talking about that's not a good breakfast. Now, you don't have to have breakfast items. I'm the kind of person that I actually like breakfast items, so if you're really not a breakfast person, make yourself something the night before and prep it. If you're that type of person that you're just really not into cooking in the morning, you're not a morning person, or whatever the reason may be, prep a little thing of chicken or a little thing of steak and start your morning out right. Always make sure you eat in the morning. I know there are people that like to skip their morning breakfast. Also, there are people that like to do morning shakes. I have a blender bottle that it just helps my shakes be less gritty. With that being said, I don't always have a morning shake. Sometimes I like to have a meal for breakfast. And so for me, I like eggs. I really love eggs. But I can't stand scrambled eggs, and eggs over easy I'll do sometimes. But my flavor of choice right now has been hard-boiled eggs. I don't eat both eggs with yolk in it. I'll take the yolk out of one of them. And that's how I do it. Now, with that being said, eat the eggs how you like them. If you are wanting to start your morning out with eggs, if you are a sunny side up egg kind of person, do it. Just keep in mind, what you're eating and how it meets your dietary needs. Now, for breakfast, like I said, sometimes I'd have cheese and crackers, sometimes I would have chips, sometimes I would have a bowl of cereal, and I'll be honest, I will not fake it out. Sometimes probably more times than not, I overate. My portion size was always too big, no matter what meal it was. Keep in mind your portion size. Eat slowly, because it takes a while for your belly to tell your brain, I'm full. So for me, I like to start my morning out with a couple eggs and some string cheese. Now, you can see my string cheese is still here because by the time I got finished eating my eggs, my belly was like, okay, I'm done. I'm full. And that is a big thing. Listen to your body. It'll tell you when you're full. I promise you. I used to believe I didn't have that sensor. I'm starting to learn I do have that sensor. I just ate too dang fast. Probably why when I was younger, I used to eat like a bird and I was slow as heck. That's probably why I didn't eat a lot. It was just because my belly wasn't big enough to consume a lot of food, so I would get full quickly, and that's how I kept thin, is I listened to my body. I used to believe that I was super fast metabolism, and yes, I could eat just about anything and not put any pounds on, but I'm sure part of that also had to do with how much I was eating and when I was eating and how fast. Now for lunches, because I fell off track, for lunches, I would find myself eating back then, again, back to what was most convenient. I would eat a lot of maybe pizza or sandwiches, and I would slab the mayonnaise on. Mayonnaise isn't bad, but always in moderation. Key is always going to be moderation. I promise you, you must keep in moderation for anything. Do not deprive yourself, but don't go buck wild with the amount of food you're consuming. So for lunches, I would, I'd eat a bunch of mayonnaise and mustard filled. Like, I'd get one of those sub sandwiches from the deli in a market, and one of the big ones, not the little 6-inchers. I'd get the big guys, and I'd cut a portion off for my son, and I'd have 9 to 12 inches to myself. And it's a lot of food for one person my size. So, and with the mayonnaise and the cheese and the meat and the mustard and the the bread, and so I was excess eating things that really weren't good for me. For dinner, for the most part, I ate somewhat healthy. I'm not going to say that I didn't eat healthy, or I did. There were things that weren't good for me. Like I would have, they always say, meat in the palm of your hand, vegetables the size of your fist. Well, my meat would be the size of two of my fists, and my vegetables would be the size of my palm, and my potatoes were at least a fist or two. No, bad. That's totally wrong of me. If I could go back in time, I'd swat that food right off my plate. I promise you, it's really that bad. It was excess eating of really bad stuff. So my problems has always been eating the wrong thing and eating too much of the wrong thing, and that's where I got to where I am now. Now for dinner, I'll give you an example of last night and the night before last. So last night I had a London broil with some broccoli, steamed broccoli, no butter, a little bit of garlic salt, not too much. I still want flavor in it, and it was really yummy. You really don't realize how good these flavors are when you're not pouring like Parmesan cheese and breadcrumbs on it. Yes, that's tasty, but broccoli's tasty on its own. If you just steam it with a little bit of garlic salt, and oh my god, it's so yummy. The night before, right now I'm on a broccoli kick, so for the past 3 nights I've had steamed broccoli. Prior to that, zucchini. So I'll go through phases of vegetables based on really what I'm craving in the moment, and also what's available to me. I like fresh seasonal vegetables. Sorry. But so yeah, I will. I'll even put seasonal at the time. With that being said, I'm back to the night before last. I had 4 ounces of chicken thighs. I weighed it with the bone in, which I'm pretty sure you're supposed to weigh without the bone. So I was probably getting about 3 ounces. I didn't get the whole thigh. It was one of those little fryer thighs you get in the package. They're like yay big. So I had just enough to sate what I needed. And by the time I was done, I was full. It was so yummy. Really, it was. It was so yummy. And it was so simple of a meal. And so after I was done, I was full and I was content. So that is what it was like with, back then versus now. I ate a lot of excess potatoes and bad for me, and it's not good in general for anyone. And in large amounts versus now, it's very high protein, low carbs, very distinct. Now, I want to make mention, broccoli is still carb significant, but it's also high in vitamin C, so really, it's a really good vegetable for you. Just keep in mind you really need to pay attention to your carb intake. And with that being said, and I apologize for looking down, apps. If you have a smartphone like this, please look up an app. Now, I have my Fitness Pal. Now, there are tons. Spark People, I can't think of everyone's. If you have a Fitbit, go with that. I think it links to my Fitness Pal. But this way you can track what you're eating, what your goal is, how much you're consuming of like carbs, sodium, sugars, protein, fat, vitamin C. It breaks down everything you're consuming and how much of it, and where it needs to where your goals should be. And it also tracks your weight. It gives you an opportunity to manage your weight loss. So you'll get to see that progress being made, as well as you just get to see the trends, what you were eating, what caused it to spike, or what, how much you didn't eat, or how much you ate in the wrong direction, and, how it influences your weight how it influences how you feel. Also, you know, I have two ways I track it. I also track it on a Excel spreadsheet. So in case something happens to my phone, I have a backup. Always have a backup of what you've been eating, because you want to go to your doctors with this and go, look, this is what I'm eating. This is how my progress has been made. So if you're not making any progress, they'll know, okay, you're eating this. Okay, let's change this and this to help your weight loss. Always keep a log, whether it be a handwritten diary, a phone application, an Excel spreadsheet, however you want to do it. Track your food. Always. Track your caloric intake, carb intake, fat intake, sugar intake, sodium intake, protein intake. Those are the primaries that are going to affect weight loss. So please keep an eye on those. With that being said, I wish you guys a wonderful week, and I will be checking in next week, in which I'm probably going to be talking about either progress or the bariatric process in itself. For those that have questions, please put them down in the comments below, and I will meet those questions next week. And for those that are still stuck in the cold, please keep warm. For those that it has warmed up on you, have a beautiful day. And like I said, I'll see you next week.